Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live this evening in UFRL for the 100% tier finale, and it is round 15 at the Australian Grand Prix. The title will commence tonight between Rusted Bolt and Le Bird. So, in terms of the predicament, it is Rusted Bolt who leads the championship by 37 points, and it is a double points race. 70 points available for the winner, 1 point for fast lap and 1 point for pole position, which of course we will see in about 17.5 to 18 minutes time from now. So yes, Russell Bolt, all he needs to win a championship is a top 7 finish. So if he can finish in that top 7, the championship will head the way of Rusted Bolt. However, if he finishes 8th or lower, then the Bird has a chance. But the Bird really needs to win tonight, and then everything after that will be dependent on result for Rusted Bolt. But yes, a race win for the Bird is required for him, really. I mean, he can win a championship with a P2 and a P3. He can actually finish. He can win a championship, in fact, by winning anywhere in the top 8 if Rusted Bolt were to DNF. The Bird needs P7 or better. If Rusted Bolt DNFs, then the Bird would win a championship. And then P8 with pole. And then either pole or, well, P8 with pole or fast lap. And then the Bird would also win the title that way. EM has invalidated on his first run. Let's head towards the Bird then, needing a point for pole position as EM crashes out. Straight away, we've lost the driver, and the Ferrari binning it into the wall, down a straight as well. Quite incredible how he's been able to do that from turn 2 into turn 3. But either way, the Bird out of turn 5 and leading into the second sector. 26.732 for him, and he is the quickest so far. Viking Fox 26.753. So pretty closely matching the kick Sauber then as he heads down the DRS straight, round the bend into the chicane through turns 9 and 10. Just here, nail it to get the left hander followed by the right hander, which you can pretty much cut the corner completely. And again, purple through the middle sector, but it looks like Viking Fox may have snuck it away once again. So those two are pretty much neck and neck here. The Bird gets slightly onto the grass on the exit as well, and now can the Bird beat the Viking Fox lap time? As Coffee behind him as well. So all of those have a target. Dex on a lap, Ivy on a lap, and here comes the Bird to the line, and it will be a 1:16.632. Coffee into the pits. Viking Fox, we know he's been quick, but it's not quick enough. He's dropped a lot of time in the end. It's a 1:17.097, only P2, but 4/10 of a second away. Ivy then, he is finishing his lap. Deck is just behind. Deck opting for the medium tyres for the start of qualifying. Let's see then, as Ivy to the line will be a 1:18.7. Let's see what Deck's time will be on those medium compound tyres. Not quite as brisk as the likes of Bird and Viking through the middle sector, but Deck to the line, a 17.6 does go P3. A decent lap, to be fair, given his tyres. Pesci, Mr. Poem just coming out now. Rusted Bolt in the pit, Woody in the pits, Link's Peace out on track, and you've got Merc and Coffee both into the pits. But what will Rusted Bolt do? How long will he wait in the pits before he heads out for his first official run tonight? But we're just watching on with the likes of Links and Poem before they settle for the next runs. Let's have a look towards the Bird as well, of course. Just setting that 16.6 to go P1. Is he going to go for another lap here at Melbourne, or does he go for the pit? He does go for another lap, so there we go. That was the decision from him. And into the pit also looks to be a Mercedes of Viking Fox. So yes, the Bird kickstarts his lap, and then fairly close to him will be Link's Peace, who exits out of turn 14 and leads all the way to turn 1 at the moment. But we're sticking on with the Bird through the first sector then. Yes, Rusted Bolt is now on an outlap. He takes Williams out. His teammate Merck still opting to stay in the pits, and it is a quicker first sector for the bird. Another purple sector. Although, I say another one. Viking Fox again, very close to the first and middle sector earlier on. Direct on board here, burning that battery all the way to the middle sector, losing time however, so he's lost almost a tenth of a second through sector 2. We may have a look towards Link's piece and just see if the bird's teammate is going to be anywhere near as quick here. And it is a 44.6 through the middle sector. So let's stick on with the bird then for the final stage, the latter stages of his lap time through into turns 12 and 13 and now into 14. And Link's piece is also going to try and position his car well, but here is the bird to the line. He does go quicker, 16.4, and in the end he finds 2 tenths through the final sector. Or well, might as well say it's 2.5 tenths already. What about Link's piece? Can he be up there to make it a kick Sauber 1 and 2 for the Constructors Champions? Link's piece is a 17.1. It's only P3 behind Viking Fox. Coffee invalidates Rusted Bolt. Starts his lap. The championship leader out of turn 1 and 2. And now all the way up into turn 3. Another DRS zone. This is, of course, we can take the right hander and then the left hander on the exit as well. So the yellow flags disappear into green flags for the kick Sauber. And let's see, can Rusted Bolt push on, maybe even for a purple first sector. Let's see what it is. It's a 27.428, not showing as purple however. But Rusted Bolt continuing through the challenges of those yellow flags. Of course, they don't mean too much. It just means either a driver is moving out of the way or a driver is out of fuel. That's most of the time that's what it means. Very rarely is there an actual incident in qualifying where yellow flags come out, although EM would say something a bit different. Right, Rusted Bolt then, showcasing purple through the middle sector. The kick Sauber moving out the way as well. What will Bolt do? He goes wide. He does go wide, but he does not invalidate. Quite miraculous there. The game obviously deciding he did not gain any time out of that, although I'll be honest, he may very well have done. I'm surprised it's not an exceeding track limits, but Rusted Bolt either way will get a lap time in, and it's only enough for P5, an 18.1, 1.7 seconds from his championship rival. Mr. Poem then, going purple through the middle sector. And we've also got Merck, who is on a lap as well. And he's going into the middle sector now. But let's stick on with Poem. Currently down to P7, but of course not set a representative lap time for the Alpine. 23.8, which you'd expect him to be at least into the 17s. Pushing on with the likes of Viking, Lynx and Deck, who's also slotted in to P4. But what can Poem do? It's a 16.9, and he does go best of the rest. It's P2 for Mr. Poem, so a strong lap from him. And what about Merck then? Merck and Poem do tend to be very close in qualifying. Well, Merck on this occasion taking it easy and not burning a battery, getting another warm up on those tyres. So let's go back and have a look towards Woody out of sector 1. 26.8 for Woody, so just a bit away from the bird. And then we're back with Bolt. Ivy as well is pushing on. He did improve by 2 tenths through the first sector. So Ivy through the middle sector, gaining by 2.5 tenths. It will be one to watch. I don't believe as the bird is back out on track again. What about Viking possibly? Let's have a look. Lynx or Viking? See, Lynx piece is burning the battery to the line. And he does improve for P3 Lynx by 1/10 of a second. Viking Fox, however, is not improving through the middle sector. Can he gain enough time here? Viking, he goes P2. Is a 16.8 for Viking Fox. He does get the time back. Now we've got Ivy in the Red Bull. Where can he place his car? It's still P7, but he gains 4/10 of a second. It's an 18.3 for Ivy. And Merck now is on a hot lap out of sector 1. Gained 3 tenths out of the middle sector. Gains 1.3 seconds. So Merck, as you can tell, pushing the battery as much as possible. Trying to gain as much time as he can compared to that sort of top 5 really, where Rusted Bolt is not involved in that top 5 right now. But we all know Rusted Bolt, even in tier 1, but particularly in the 100% tier this season, isn't the strongest qualifier. he does get some excellent race results. But that's in pretty much both of the tiers, tier 1 and the 100% tier. That's how Rusty Bolt does his business. A 17.7 for Merc, so P6, not as quick, however, as that top 5. Neither is his teammate. And Ivy still out on circuit. You got Pesci for the first time as well. Yet to set a time, but he is on a lap as the Red Bull of Ivy moves aside for Pesci. Where the Haas is probably looking is definitely towards the bird of Viking and Poem as well. Get onto that top 3 as it slides into the corner at turn 13, now into 14, and on the exit gets onto the curb nicely, and burning the battery to the line. Doesn't burn all of the deploy, however, and it's a 16.5, and barely just over a tenth behind the bird goes Pesci, so it is P2 for him. Coffee then, looking for his first lap. He did go out on track earlier on, however did not get a lap. Hello, Drac. Watching the stream from office, missing tonight. Yeah, gutted to not have you on track, mate, but glad you can enjoy it from the office, I suppose. Let's see what Coffee could do then for his first run. And it will be a 16.9, and he goes P5. 5 thousandths of a second between Mr. Poem and Coffee in P4 and P5. So Deck again on another run. Let's head up towards the bird, however. Let's not head towards the bird, let's head back down rather, towards Deck. Because Deck is gaining by 3/10. The bird just starting another run, potentially having just invalidated. And also good evening in the TikTok chat to your boy Georgie. Hope you're doing well and enjoying this qualifying session before we get started for the race, of course, where the bird and Rusted Bolt will be vying for the championship tonight. It will be, whichever one wins it will be their first UFRL title. Rusted Bolt has been it since season 1 as well, and this will be the season 8 decider. Yeah, Rusted Bolt pushing for his first championship. Can he take it? I think he's got an excellent chance. But again, he's a top 7 finish for Rusted Bolt, and the title will be his. Deck to the line and goes P3, a 16.8, and makes it a Haas 2 and 3, where the bird still has the advantage. Ivy gained by half a second, 17.8 now for Ivy. Picking up the pace. Rusted Bolt, however, is now the only driver in the 118s. Everybody else either in the 16s or 17s. That's how much of a margin Rusted Bolt has to gain in this qualifying session. Let's head towards the bird. It does go quicker. It's a 16.1 for the bird, and that will be it now for him. He does go quickest again, and it's now a gap of 0.4 of a second on Pesci. So Pesci drops into second place. Thank you, LH, in the TikTok. So yes, again, we are live across both platforms, Twitch and TikTok this evening. The Twitch, UFRL Formula 1, and the TikTok, UFRL _F1. It is the number 1, not the word 1 as well. So yes, Pesci then drops into the pits, and Deck back out there still, losing time and likely going to head into the pits, taking into account the fuel as well. Low on fuel, and he does make it into the pit. So now just the bird and Rusted Bolt on track, and it is Rusted Bolt taking us into turns 1 and 2, and again on the exit avoids the curb on the outside, and does have that DRS wide open as well as he enters into turns 3 and into 4 as well through the tricky right left complex. And here we go again for Bolt. Gets onto the curb nicely, he hit the apex shy, and he does hit it sharply, and again continues on through, where you get the DRS activation point just here as he narrowly avoids any track limits there, and we'll get the DRS wide open once again. 4 DRS zones in total here at Melbourne, and it will take you all the way into turns 9 and 10 through the left-right chicane. So here we go, gaining by 0.3 of a second, which is what Bolt needs, but again he needs to gain a bit more time through the final sector. Again, not the strongest qualifier, but we're hoping he can be pushing up there. Rusted Bolt then into turn 11 now, and again onto the curb nicely, avoiding the track limits once more, as Bolt will continue into turns 12 and into 13 now. A little bit of a twitch there, but into 14 okay. And where will Rusted Bolt place his car? It does seem like a pretty good lap for Bolt. And he's not going to be the quickest, but it will be a 17.4, does put him up to 8th. I think he'll be happy if he can start in P8 or somewhere around that. Unfortunately for him, he's still got his teammate to go again. You've got Ivy as well, and Woody still in the pits. But yeah, let's see then if anything's going to occur here. We're hoping to see some good lap times at the front as well. Obviously, you see the bird at the quickest. Pesci, Deck, Viking, Poem, Coffee, Lynx as well. Plenty of contenders, but the bird certainly looks like he is the favourite here. Ivy then will kickstart his lap in a moment. But let's head towards the Alpines then. Mr. Poem into turn 1. You've got Coffee just behind him as well. So both Alpines possibly, nope, they're not working together. Poem lets Coffee go by. Interesting strategy, not helping his teammate there. Thought he may have just tried to supply Coffee with a bit of slipstream down one of the 4 key DRS straights here. But Coffee now gaining by almost 0.4 of a second through sector 1. And that is very impressive from Coffee. If you keep up with that improvement, he could be a contender for the bird's pole position. Let's see the middle sector split. 0.4 of a second at the moment. Looking like a mid 116s here for Coffee. Where he's got Pesci at a 16.587. So it could be P2 if the Dutchman can continue this flyer of a lap here. Into sector 3 we go then. Now into turns 13 and 14 just now. And Coffee will get his DRS wide open once again. 50 seconds to go. And Coffee is a 16.4 and it is P2. A front row for Coffee. Mr. Poem will start a lap now as well. And then you've got the Haas of Deck just about to start. You've got Ivy as well. Let's go towards Ivy. He's on a lap at the moment. Getting by about 0.2 of a second for the middle sector. So let's see what Ivy can do. Burning all of his batteries. 17.7 does remain P10, which could be good news for Rusted Bolt. And Rusted Bolt now gaining a little bit of time through the middle sector, but not a lot of time. Should keep him P8 as there is an improvement there from Link's Piece. A 16.464 to go, P3 ahead of the Haas. And Rusted Bolt now, your championship leader, remains 8th fastest. Merc on a lap as well. Let's head towards the Alpine and Mr. Poem. And he's gotten ahead of Coffee, but not gaining any time through the middle sector. So Poem down by a couple of hundredths of a second. So he really needs to nail down the final sector. Could potentially still get ahead of likes of Deck and Viking. Maybe gain a couple of tenths of a second. That's all he really needs to do to rise up to P5. But again, Deck and Viking Fox both on a lap, and there are 2 drivers following Mr. Poem further back. So let's see what Mr. Poem's going to do here. Will he stay in P7? Yes, he does. And he pretty much levelled out his final sector as well. 0.032 seconds at the end. Viking Fox into the pit, so he will not improve on P6. Deck. Interesting strategy there from Deck. I get the impression. Yeah, he's definitely into that pit. Interestingly, right, what about Pesci then? Pesci, no gain there for the bird, however. He does improve, a 16.0. And that improvement was coming. What about Ivy? He will not improve. Rusted Bolt not improving. So that is it. Link's Piece will stay 3rd. Coffee will start on the front row. But the bird does exactly what he needs and will take pole position going into the Australian Grand Prix. Rusted Bolt in P8. Intriguingly enough, if the bird wins and Rusted Bolt P8, the bird could be on his way to the championship based on qualifying. But, as we all know, Rusted Bolt picks it up in the race. The bird is always naturally very strong, but Rusted Bolt will likely claim a few places. But let's see if anything happens like the USA, where Rusted Bolt didn't get off to a best start after a lap 1 turn 1 collision, then Rusted Bolt will hope to avoid any early incidents. But then again, in 100% tier, probably want an earlier incident rather than a later incident, I feel. Right, but anyways, the bird is the one on pole position in the race. Right then, full classification. The Bird 16065 for the quickest lap, Coffee P2 16418, and Links Peace in 3rd place. Pesci ahead of Deck, 4th and 5th for the 2 Haas, and a Mercedes of Viking Fox in the top 6, Cohen P7 for Alpine, and the 2 Williams P8 for Russ and Bolt, and Merck will be joined by Ivy on the 5th row, and a 6th row will be EM alongside Woody. So Woody and EM both not setting a lap, but the Bird on pole. And now we will have a 5-minute break before we start our qualifying session. Right, so I'll be back in a few minutes' time. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back. And we are going to kickstart this Australian Grand Prix. Yep, I know I'm back. I'm very much aware of that. Right. Let's see then what will occur. The bird on pole, Bolt in P8, which is exactly where they would need to be for the bird to potentially win the championship. If it finished like that, the bird wins, Bolt P8, Rusted Bolt will not be able to win the championship because Rusted Bolt needs to finish now in the top 7 given that the bird got pole position. So it is a top 7 finish that is required for Rusted Bolt. But it is the bird on pole. It's 5 red lights here at Melbourne. It is go, go, go. And Coffee seems to have gotten away the best. He's ahead of the bird. A horrible line of... Well, apparently the bird is ghosted. The bird is ghosted. And there's a Lynx piece is off. Lynx is off in the background. But the bird does lead. The timing is completely incorrect. And for some reason... there is a lot of ghosting. They got the Haas ghosted. They got all the cars already ghosted at the moment. For whatever reason, the two Haas of Pesci and Deck are both ghosted. If they don't unghost, but they are now unghosting. But for some reason, it was very glitched out at the start. But now we're back away in a clean manner. And Deck gaining the place on Coffee. Still not sure why it was ghosted at the start. But Poem ahead of Viking as well. And now Bolt, and you've got Merc, and you've got Lynx looking down the inside as well. And Lynx does get ahead of Merc, trying to make things difficult. And EM is looking to follow through. He's looking for a move on Merc. But we're going to head up the field because I look down the inside there. And Lynx piece now through on Rusted Bolt. And up into the top 7. And what's that? Merc. Merc getting involved. And then you got William. And then you've got Woody as well, all squabbling for positions. And here is EM having a look on Ivy, not quite getting past. Let's go back up towards Coffee and Poem then in the top 5. But the bird still leads from Pesci and Deck in that top 3. And the position changes there. 2 places for Pesci and Deck. Coffee dropping to 2. Poem up 2. Lynx down 4 spots from the start. Wow. But you could argue, more importantly, Rusted Bolt remains in P8. I am hoping that there's audio, well, not the audio, but actually the timing screen. Hopefully it does level itself out. I'm still not sure why it's looking like that, but either way, Pesci, for the first opportunity with that DRS, should be able to get through on the bird now. And he is going round the outside and drops the bird into P2. I don't think the bird would mind too much trying to work with Pesci. And they have broken away from the group involving Rusted Bolt, I do believe, as well. So Rusted Bolt not in the lead group. Lynx piece is in P7. Bolt is in P8. And the bird under attack now from Deck. Deck has a look on the inside. They are going to go side by side as well. But it is the bird who holds on to the place then. But he's now dropped behind Pesci. So from the bird needing a win, he is outside of the 1 second window, and you do imagine he's going to have to burn a battery as Pesci takes a fast lap of the Grand Prix. And the bird needs to burn to get within DRS range. And we are going to drop further back and have a look here. Lynx piece under attack from Rusted Bolt. Lynx doing the team work with his teammate, of course. Rusted Bolt, however, having a look on a move. Is he going to go inside or out? He switches to the outside and stays in P8. Ivy just behind them. And Bolt trying to hold up, Lynx trying to hold up Bolt as much as possible to stop Rusted Bolt from charging towards that top 6 then. That is the target that Lynx piece has set himself, and hoping that the bird can stick with Pesci, which has not worked just yet. The tyres, everyone's on mediums, bar Ivy, who has opted for the hards. So that's the only change. And here comes Ivy. Speaking of the Red Bull, speaking of the devil, round the outside he goes. Oh, contact between Ivy and Lynx. And I think that was Ivy and Lynx. Merc has a time penalty. And Lynx drops into last spot. I think that was with EM. It may have even been Bolt with a bit of contact with one of them as well. But the trio certainly getting tangled there from Ivy, attempting that double overtake. Let's see now as Ivy ahead of Bolt, who was in P8, still not in a title winning position as things stand. Rusted Bolt, if he finished there, but because the bird is not leading, he would win the title. But if the bird would have dropped back, well, rather take the lead. If the bird took the lead, all of a sudden the bird would be the championship winner if Bolt remained in P8. Let's just head up the field just momentarily. Have a look towards the bird, but he does stay behind, and now we can drop back towards Woody, who was closing in on Willie Fernandez over P9 and P10. One thing's for certain, I think Merck actually may have damage, and yes, on that front left, he has got wing damage. So that's going to put him under pressure from Lynx Peaston. Lynx Peaston, there's a bit more damage going on. Some more damage, and I think Merck may have had a tangle again, and now Lynx Peace gets through on Merck and rising up into the top 12. Not where Lynx would want to be at this stage, but he'll want to be contesting with this man, Rusty Bolt, who goes round the outside on Ivy and moves up into the top 7. Did I say EM earlier? I did mean it was Ivy, not EM. Sorry, EM. But anyways, let's go and stick with this battle. Why not? Woody having a look on Woody Fernandez once again. I do think we need to have a look towards the front, but I think the back group's looking a bit more feisty right now, with Lynx trying to get right involved and Bolt leading the group. It is looking feisty in that 7 to 13 range. But the bird, 120.4, does deliver the fast lap. Pesci and Deck still behind, the two Haas keeping close tabs. And then you got Coffee and Poem followed by Viking Fox, who seems to be doing well, keeping up the pace. But none of this group looking to battle each other too hard, it seems, for the early stages. As now, oh, what's happened? EM in the background. He did lose it into turns 2 and 3 earlier in the race, and all of a sudden out of turn 2 this time. And that was in qualifying, but out in the race, he has struggled there once again. Willie Fernandez, 3-second time penalty, joining Merck on the penalty casualty list. So Rusty Bolt in P7 right now would be the champion, but that will be by a small margin. But a margin nonetheless is what Rusty Bolt needs. Pesci now re-overtaking the bird and taking the lead with Deck still P3. Bolt ahead of Ivy, but Ivy is certainly keeping close tabs. He may even force a move. Is he going to look for the move into turn 11? He does stay in behind. And then you got Willie Fernandez running a little bit on the wider side as EM leaves the session. Let's go up or down the field. We're going to stick on here as Lynx Peace is right involved in this now. And he's the one trying to help his teammate to win the championship here. And let's see, Lynx Peace then. Will he go for a move on Willie Fernandez into turn 1 as Coffee receives a 3-second time penalty? No big moves being made there. Pesci, the bird, Deck still ahead with Coffee, Poem and Viking in the background. EM into the pits. And we're going to just stick on with Deck for the moment, trying to keep watch of those times further adrift. But certainly 2 trains being formed here. The top 6 in 1 and then the bottom 7 in, well, the bottom 6 as our Merc has actually dropped out of that now. But Deck gaining on the bird. Is he going to push for the move on the kick? No, he's just going to hang in behind there. The move being made now. Ivy overtaking Rusty Bolt. And now here comes Lynx Peace. And Lynx does go for the move round the outside of Willie Fernandez. And Lynx Peace then up into 9th. Rusty Bolt trying to get back at Ivy, but he knows. Here comes Lynx Peace. As Lynx Peace just break late and just gets close. But not close enough. He'll feel, because he wants to put Bolt under even more pressure. But Rusty Bolt remains in 8th position here. Is he going to have a look on the inside of Rusty Bolt again? A very close margin between the pair. There's a move by the Mercedes up there. That was Viking Fox having a look on Poem, unable to get through. Here comes Lynx Peace then. Bolt probably doesn't want to fight him too much, but at the same time knows it's risky. And Lynx does go down the inside on Rusty Bolt now. And Lynx Peace up to P8. Bolt under a bit of pressure from Woody Fernandez and from Woody. Woody Fernandez has a look on the inside of Bolt. Does not make the move stick, and therefore Bolt stays in P9. At the moment, I do think he'll be just about winning the championship still. But again, if the bird wins the race, Bolt needs to finish out top 7. He's not achieving top 7 right now. The championship race is still on for the bird, who now re-overtakes Pesci into turns 9 and 10 and re-emerges into P1 here. Let's drop back into this battle. Ivy with Lynx Bolt, and now Rusty Bolt's going to have another look, I think, on Lynx. Lynx piece not burning his battery too much, and it does look like he's under pressure now, where he did overtake Bolt the previous lap, but Bolt now getting back at Lynx. Going round the outside, risky strategy here from Rusty Bolt to get well involved in the Bird's teammate, or with the Bird's teammate, and Lynx piece therefore hangs on to P8. Further up the field then, Pesci and the Bird continuing to trade places. Deck not able to deliver an overtake just yet, hanging on to P3, but here he comes. Speaking of Deck, going round the outside, he does bypass the Bird. So it is a Haas 1 and 2. Pesci from Deck, from Bird, Coffee, Poem and Viking in the top 6. A big gap of over 9 seconds to P7 as Lynx and Rusted Bolt continue to battle out. And you can imagine Lynx piece could be backing up Bolt here to push Ivy away, which would all of a sudden make it a 4-way battle over P8. Lynx piece playing the ultimate team game here for the Birds Championship. Speaking of which, here we go again. The Bird having a look on both cars. He's having to cut a corner. He's lost all of them. The Bird's down to P5. Make it P6, surely. Because Viking's round the outside of the Bird. And the Bird has to drop in behind. And he's all the way down in P6. That is not where Lynx would have expected to see the Bird on his timing list. Bird drops down to P6 as a result of that. And we're going to go back towards Bolt with Lynx. Right now, Bolt will be the champion of the 100% tier. And that by the Bird, unfortunately, has made things more challenging for the Kick Sauber. Rusty Bolt then may not even be too aware of that right now. I don't know, unless he's listening to the stream, or maybe just watching the track map. He may all of a sudden see a Kick Sauber at the back of the battle ahead as Bolt gets incredibly close to Lynx piece in a challenge into turns 1 and 2. Lynx stays ahead, and he's still in DRS of Ivy. I still wonder if Lynx should try and do something to allow Ivy to go clear and then make it Lynx v Bolt for P8. Because P7 right now, and that's all Bolt needs to win a championship. And right now it's a battle for P7. Ivy, Lynx, Bolt, Fernandez and Woody are overtaken. And Coffee now, out of nowhere, overtakes Pesci for the race lead. Still wanting to see if the Bird's going to go for any places. Let's go back up towards Deck. It's challenging. Also a move there from Viking and the Bird. The Bird down the inside onto Viking, folks. Bit of contact between the pairing. But the Bird looks to have just about gotten himself through and into the top 5 now. Very, very risky, but he does make the move stick. We're just going to move back towards Rusted Bolt then into the final sector. Is he going to have a look on the inside of Lynx? He hangs out and remains in P9. There's a big move there from the Bird, but he needs to pick up a few more places. Let's head back up the field towards Coffee, Pesci and Deck and Poem as the Bird is 1 second further adrift. And it's still with a 4 in a row. Are they going to try and charge away from the Bird? It doesn't look like it because the Bird has got back in, as has Viking Fox now. And back on here with this battle where Lynx down the inside as Rusted Bolt trying to move around the outside, and Bolt in the end has to back out of the overtake. Thing is, right now it is risky for Rusted Bolt, and the reason why it's risky is because he's got a 3-second time penalty. That was not the reason, but all of a sudden it's the reason. Bolt has a 3-second time penalty. It's only lap 10. Your championship leader is not having the best of Grand Prix. Here comes Winnie Fernandez. Fernandez with the move on the outside on the Williams. Will he get the double? Fernandez strikes. Fernandez makes the move up into P8. Splendid stuff. And Bolt now may just be under pressure from Woody. But what a big move from Fernandez there, flying up in the McLaren. And Bolt hangs out ahead of Woody, gets close to Lynx once more, but he looks like he's really struggling at the moment, Rusty Bolt. Maybe struggling for a bit of confidence on this finale. Maybe the nerves getting to the Williams. Pesci through on Coffee for the race lead. Deck, Poem, Bird still in 5th, Viking in P6. Bolt right now, Bolt would finish P11 as Coffee loses out to both Haas. And now he's looking around the outside on Haas, and here comes Poem. Poem wants to get involved with Coffee, and the Bird all of a sudden right involved in this as well. But right now, I still think Ruster Bolt was going to hang on to that championship. EM, okay, thank you. Not good timing because I'm trying to get right. I'm going to invite him through this. Please let him know how I've invited him. It's through EA. It's the easiest way because otherwise I'd have to try and get on other pause menus. There you go, down the inside, the bird hangs it and has a move, and he gets the move on Coffee. He had a look on Poem as well, but he's made one critical overtake. Bird overtakes Coffee and up into the top 4. Fernandez back ahead now, this time making a move on Ivy. He's picking up the pace. He's up into P7. Link's dropping the pace now ahead of Bolt. He's seen Bolt get that penalty and thinking, you know what, I'll have some of that. Ivy back through Winnie and back up into the top 7. Winnie Fernandez then wants to get back ahead, but he's going to have to stay in behind. The Bird, though, starting to get into a competitive position, possibly for the championship. He is not far away now. I'll say he's not far away. We have got 46.5 to 47 laps to go. But you know what I mean. Woody enters the pit. It's an early stop, really, from those medium compound tyres. The stop situation is there for you. Don't forget EM. I think it was EM. No, Ivy, rather. Ivy started on the hard tyres and now is under a bit of pressure from Fernandez in P7 and P8. But let's just stick on with this front group just for now. Russell Bolt losing time. He is outside of DRS range on Ivy, Fernandez and Lynx. Trying to get back within a second. Something's not going right here for Rusty Bolt so far. The Bird then has a look and is side by side with Poem onto the curb, and he does make the overtake on Poem. Bird into the podium positions now in P3. Rusty Bolt at the moment is in P10. I think Bolt wins the title from here at the moment, but Bird keeps picking up positions. So if Bird finishes 3rd place, Bolt would require a P13 or lower, aka a P13 finish. So the Bird still needs to pick up at least one more place. If he picks up P2, then Bolt must finish in the top 10. But for Rusty Bolt now, he is well back from Willie Fernandez and Ivy. This is getting problematic for Rusty Bolt's title chances. He knows the Bird is right up there in the thick of things. He knows Rusty Bolt is back here in the thick of things because Lynx wants to get back through, and I'm sure he's going to get back through. And Bolt keeps fighting this with Lynx. He knows he's not got a choice because Lynx is holding him up. He's holding him hostage and is preserving the championship challenge for the Bird. The Bird's in such a strong position to the point he's making an overtake on deck. He's up into P2 now, the Bird, and he's getting closer. As things stand, the Bird is just moments away from a championship. But again, 45 laps of racing to go. Woody, 3-second time penalty in P11. But the Bird now edging closer towards Pesci for the race lead. If he can get into the race lead, that championship could very well end up in the Kick Sauber's hands. And what a comeback it would be for him. Bolt and Lynx continuing to trade paint as well. Going side by side. Russell Bolt this time just about getting through. He wants to get close towards Ivy and Fernandez. Lynx does not want to get anywhere near another car apart from Russell Bolt. And Lynx piece, I've got to say. And Russell Bolt's in for the undercut. Smart strategy. He had to do something different. And he's going for the undercut. To try and get clear of this man, Lynx piece. Lynx piece. Maybe surprisingly, Lynx stayed out in the end. You could have felt that Lynx piece would have been more braver, smarter, possibly, to stay out. Either way, to go in rather, but either way, he has decided to stay out. So back up towards Mr. Poem then. Just a couple of attempts from Deck from the Bird, and the Bird now did lose a place to Deck, but all of a sudden he's now going around the outside on Deck, but Deck holding the inside line and holding on to 2nd position. The Bird in P3, Poem P4, Coffee P5, Viking still in that battle in P6, but he's just hanging on now to the DRS range. A very quick group of 6 drivers there. Viking Fox, the only of them in Tier 2, the others are all in Tier 1. But again, it is realistic cars for the final time in the 100% tier, realistic cars. Merck with another 3 seconds. I do believe that's 6 in total now. I'll get a penalty situation. Yes, it is 6 seconds for Merck. Not, it's very unlike him to get more than 3 seconds of time penalties. Especially it's early in the race. 15 laps in, he's already got that 6 seconds. Wow. I hope Deck wins, says Tim in the chat. Well, Deck's in a good position, but then they all are. And certainly this man, the Bird, who has had to pick up a few places from, first of all, Viking, was since pitted, and also from Coffee and from Poem, and has had the battles with the 2 Haas tonight as well. If he can regain those 2 places and end up winning, at this moment, he is a good bet for the title. Let's go back towards Poem, though. So it's closing on the Bird. The Bird is edging closer towards Deck, who is edging closer on Pesci. And it is a battle again, 3-way, but 2 wide going the Bird with Deck. And Deck off track. Deck off track. He loses all of them. He loses to Bird. He loses to Poem. He loses to Coffee. He drops to P5. Poem is almost side by side with the Bird, but has to stay behind. And the Bird back up into P2. Thus the Bolt, meanwhile, down in P12. He has so much work to do if he wants to win this title. Now we're going to go towards Coffee, I think. Just have a little watch of the Alpine. I may actually drop back. Merc. Link's Peace has joined this battle as well. So Merc going side by side with Link's Peace. And they are making the moves. Merc back up into the top 10. But Link's probably not solely concentrated on Merc. He's more thinking about Rusted Bolt. Let's be real here. But can Merc do anything to try and help out Rusted Bolt in this battle? It's going to be very difficult. What they really need is for Merc, or for Rusted Bolt to be leading it. Then Merc maybe trying to hold up Lynx or something to get him away. As Rusted Bolt does have a look on Lynx. Lynx holding the inside line. Bolt had to switch to the outside. Couldn't do anything, however. And they just remain 3 in a row. Merc, Lynx, Bolt. P10, P11, Bolt in P12. He knows right now he is not securing that title. He's under a lot of pressure with Lynx Peace trying to back him up as well. What is the strategy for the Williams team? Because they need to do something beneficial for Rusted Bolt. He tried the undercut. Guess what? It did not work. But what about a possible double overtake where Bolt can get through and maybe where Merc can hold up the Link's Peace charge? Will that occur here? They're going 3 wide. Never going to work. The 3 wide and Link's Peace does get through. Bolt ahead of Merc as well. That'll be an interesting collision. But Bolt, Lynx, Merc all trying to go 3 wide. It was never going to work. 2 wide is tough enough through turns 9 and 10. 3 wide was never a safe bet. Poem out of the pits. And he's behind Fernandez, who has yet to serve his first stop in this race. In fact, all of that top 6 yet to pit. All of the bottom 7 have indeed pitted. Let's head back up the field towards the Bird. This time he does get through on Pesci. And now he's back in race-winning contention. And the Bird needs to try and gain as much time on his medium tyres as possible. The championship could very well be heading his way. And Poem has a battle here. And he's got it with Ivy and Fernandez. He gets through with Fernandez. And when he get the overtake on Ivy, he settles to stay in P6. But he should get through now. Very close between the pairing. But now Poem gets through on Ivy. He's up the order in P5. But what has happened here to EM? He was into the wall. He's got some front wing damage, but no form of safety car or virtual safety car. The Bird then stays ahead of Pesci, who remain 1 and 2. Coffee is now over a second behind him, but he's still in DRS range. The Bird and Pesci still battling out. Pesci back ahead. The Bird lets him through. Coffee just hanging on to that DRS, as is Deck. Down in 4th place, Deck, not having the best of races up to now. For the past few laps, in fact. He did have a strong opening 14 or 15 laps, but he's just been dropping back since then. Viking Fox around the outside on Woody Fernandez up into the top 7. And Bolt back up towards Link's Peace. And Rusted Bolt keeps going for these overtakes, keeps taking the risks here, like he is into turns 1 and 2. But guess what? Lynx is not going to make it easy. What they both need really is for both cars to get through on Lynx, and a Merc has to try and hold up Lynx, but Lynx going for that sort of move there. That's an interesting one. That's a risky one. Got to avoid trying to get a penalty at the same time. So you don't want to be getting a penalty and holding up a trophy, because if you get a penalty, you're going to drop behind them, and that will give Bolt that free position. You don't really want to be doing that if you're in a position of Link's piece. But he is doing. You can't necessarily blame Lynx on what he's trying to do here. He's trying to help his teammate, the Bird, to win that title. I don't blame him. He's being the ultimate teammate, and let's be honest, you know, if you were in the Bird's shoes right now, you'd be loving what Lynx piece is trying to do, as they were just going side by side. But let's see this again. Lynx with Rusted Bolt this time. Once again, Lynx staying ahead. What about Merc? EM retires into the pits, and Merc does get the move on Lynx. You see there how Lynx did back out of that. He knows his main threat is not Merc. His main threat here, or his main target, is Rusted Bolt. That's the one he wants to be beating. And there are more yellow flags. It looks like Ivy's in a bit of trouble in the Red Bull as well, in to turns 1 and 2. But Lynx piece is going to get back through on Merc already. Nope, they're going to go side by side. Never mind that theory. They will be side by side into turns 1 and 2, holding up Merc and holding up Rusterbolt in the process as well. Rusterbolt finding this challenge extremely difficult here from Lynx piece. Don't necessarily blame him, but he's got to try and think of something. Or between themselves at the Williams, they have to think of something here, because all this holding up is causing a real headache to Rusted Bolt. I'm not certain what Merc can do, but again, what they need is for both Bolt and Merc to be ahead of Lynx. Bolt needs to be the lead car, and all of a sudden Merc needs to back Lynx up. That's something that they need to do, really. Merc needs to do the strategy to Lynx that Lynx has been doing to Bolt, just to allow Bolt to do something, even if it's, you know, I know they've pitted already. Maybe during the second round of pit stops, Pesci back through on the Bird and back up into P1 then. Sticking on with this. Merc from Lynx from Bolt. Woody Fernandez into the pits, having made that brilliant. What did I say, brilliant? Yeah, why not? And that was a lovely move that he made on that doubled overtake earlier in the Grand Prix. But now in the pits, we'll have a look at the tyre situation. And it is Woody Fernandez going for the medium tyres. Lynx piece then, 7 lap fresher than Merc. And you could just see the pace they're going at. He's clearly not pushing it. We all know that. It's a strategic element to Lynx Peter's game here, trying to hold up Bolt. And the fact is, he's on 7 lap fresher tyres on mediums versus hards as well. But he's just staying in behind. Oh, let's go up the field. Have a look towards Declan. Closing in on Coffee. So he's got back within that DRS range, back within close range. And after those couple of laps of struggles, Deck has found himself in a decent position to potentially make a move here into turn 1. Speaking of making a move, Pesci cannot get much closer. Near enough pushing the Bird into turn 1. But it is Bird, Pesci, Coffee and Deck. And as things stand, that would be your podium, although Poem is doing a fantastic job with the undercut, it looks like. Pesci then back through on the Bird for the race lead. And still this battle continues where Merc, Lynx and Bolt. And look, the fact that Woody Fernandez has pitted and still come out 2 seconds ahead of them. Woody this time overtaking Ivy down the straight and into P7. Just going to drop back to this then. Merc, Lynx, Rusted Bolt. Don't know, can Rusted Bolt pit or you know, suddenly for like a set of mediums and then Merc just hold up Lynx as much as possible maybe? I'm not sure. Not sure how it would work for them. I mean, something different needs to happen here for Rusted Bolt, because he is losing the title as things stand. Yes, that is right. The championship would be heading to the Bird. He would be overturning a 37-point deficit heading into tonight's double points finale to take the title at the moment. With Rusterbolt down in P12, last of the running cars with a penalty as well. Deck into the pits then. So we finally got one of that top 4 in. How far behind would he be to Mr. Poem, who is exiting out of turn 14 right now? And down a straight Poem goes. So Poem does comfortably get through and Deck, as our Lynx piece now dropping it back towards Merc. He wants to get back through. And is Merc going to try and do something here to hold up Lynx? Lynx really pushing for the overtake. He does get back through on Merc there. So Lynx Piece really pushing as hard as he can just to keep up with Rusted Bolt here. And a bird now with a 3-second time penalty. So all of a sudden, it's changed at the top. Rusted Bolt has a penalty himself, and now the bird joins him on the 3-second time penalty count. Pesci back through on the bird. Lynx is going for the move on the inside of Merc. And now Rusted Bolt rather. Rusted Bolt with Lynx. And what does Merc do in this battle? He just drops back. He does not want any of this action, does he? He stays in behind Boltlow. Still directly behind Lynx Piece. Couldn't get a lot closer. But still cannot make the overtake as Merc runs a little bit wide off the line as well. Into the pits goes Pesci, Bird and Coffee. All three go in on lap 22 for the hards, possibly trying to get them all the way to the end here. I think Mr. Poem's looking at a 2-stop strategy as well. And now down the inside goes Merc. And he does make the move stick on Lynx. Thus the Bolt still behind them. And now can Bolt get back through? Don't forget Bolt has DRS, whereas Lynx does not. Lynx under pressure. He goes down the inside of Merc. And he does really try a move on the inside of Merc. It was quite a late one. And now, what do they have here? Lynx with Merc and Bolt. Merc with another 3 seconds. Lynx Piece trying to do what he can to stop Bolt winning the title. Still has no time penalties, Lynx Piece here. As he had another look on Rusted Bolt there. I did see a bit of damage. I think it's on Rusted Bolt, it is. So Rusted Bolt has got some end plate damage on the left side. Now Merc all of a sudden getting involved in this. Had a look on the inside of Lynx as well. But they are losing so much time where Lynx must be thinking, I am doing the perfect strategy. The bird's happy with it, but the bird is not doing what he can. He needs to be winning this race. As things stand, he's only in 4th place with a penalty as well. So even though the bird's teammate is doing his utmost best to help his teammate, he is not winning that title, the bird, right now. It would still go towards Bolt, but they are still continuing this immense battle, where Bolt now goes a bit wide, and Lynx Piece and Merc. Is Merc going to try and get the double on them? He's having a look on it, but he knows he just has to drop in behind. And all of a sudden, Lynx once again is ahead, going for the defensive line this time. Thus, the Bolt stays behind him. He's going to allow for the DRS to hit, but Ivy is going to be another threat now. It's a 4-way battle. I'm getting the impression Lynx would not mind Ivy getting through. He probably wouldn't have minded Merc getting through, to be fair, just to, you know, if... Oh, as Ivy goes for a late move on Merc. Wow, was he made that move stick? That was quite impressive from Ivy. He does get back through. What about this battle? Bird, Pesci, and then Deck as well. And the Bird is just ahead of both of them now. So up into P2 and leading this charge towards Poem. Back towards Lynx, Bolt, Ivy, and Merc we go. Rusted Bolt now will get the dose of DRS, but as will Ivy. Ivy will play a key figure here in this battle. He is not wanting to wait around. We just saw that move at the turn, one on Merc, a risky one, but a one that paid off. Now he's going for the move, rounding out on a Rusted Bolt. Does he get it? Yes, he does. Ivy straight through on Bolt, nothing Bolt could do. And maybe just hoping that Ivy could do something to Lynx Piece in this race. As further ahead, Pesci down the inside on the Bird and back up into P2, and they go. But we want to stick on with this battle between Ivy because he is closing in, or he has lost a bit of time. Oh, he is losing a bit of time to Lynx. Is Lynx trying to pull away, or is he deciding, you know what, I'm maybe just going to back it up again? Get the feeling that he would be happy to allow Ivy to go through. I think that's what Lynx is thinking right now. If Ivy goes through, then all of a sudden Lynx Piece can try and back up Rusted Bolt again. So that Rusted Bolt cannot gain more positions here. But Bolt is losing time here. Lynx is putting away to stop Bolt keeping close. And Bolt now is outside of the 1 second window with some damage. He's in even more trouble, Rusty Bolt, because Merc will get through on him. So Merc will get through on his teammate here with that DRS. Link's Piece will lose a place to Ivy. He probably doesn't even care about that one. Ivy is now through. Merc through on Rusty Bolt. Bolt without that DRS was absolutely struggling for the place, and all of a sudden it's opened up a bit more here for Ivy and Lynx, but Merc is back within a second. We're going to go towards the bird once again. The bird's in trouble. The bird through at turns 3 and 4 has had a bit of a problem, and this now means the bird is outside of DRS range on the 2 Haas. Still then, the bird would not go on to win the title as things stand. So it's a lot of work for him to do with his penalty in mind as well. Yeah, incredible stuff here for the likes of Lynx holding up Bolt, and then you got the bird making it more difficult for himself, it seems, at the moment. They are both crumbling under pressure here, the bird and Rusty Bolt. They're both making it so difficult for themselves to deliver that title. I mean, for Rusty Bolt, he's not really making errors. It's just that he can't get through on Lynx. For the bird, he has made a couple of mistakes or risky manoeuvres. And that's dropped him down behind the 2 Haas. I think he may very well catch him up. He's got the pace to catch him up. As Deck gets back through on Pesci, they're trying to work together here at Haas. Well, the bird is still saturated in 4th place, but can he close it up now? That's the question. He needs to get back within DRS range. Merc overtaking Lynx, and now Lynx back at it, side by side. But it looks like Lynx has got it, has he? Merc goes a little bit wide of the mark. He will get DRS as well here, Merc. So it will be Lynx from Merc from Bolt, and I think Merc possibly, is he going to go for the move? It looks like he may well. Lynx Piece then not able to burn that battery because Merc does get through, and Merc now up into 10th place. And goes a little bit wide there, Merc, as well. Lynx gets straight through, and is Bolt going to challenge as well? Yes, he does. Rusty Bolt through now, up into P11, or is he? No. No, all of a sudden Rusty Bolt lets his teammate Merc through. I think they're trying to work together, but Lynx Piece is not being shaken off here. He is doing a stern defensive job, and Bolt with another 3 seconds. So that is 6 seconds of penalties now for Rusted Bolt. I mean, if there's a late safety car, then that would open up for the bird. Even though he's got that penalty, he probably doesn't want a safety car, to be fair. But honestly, from this position, they are both struggling to stay and keep composed. Merc then back through on Lynx Piece. A bit of a shaky getaway from both. Could that allow for Bolt to get through? He wants to get through. And Rusty Bolt now. He does get through on Merc and Lynx. Lynx has to look on the outside of Merc. He does get through. Lynx Piece just ahead of Merc. They almost done it right there, Williams. But they need to get it right to the point where Merc stays ahead of Lynx and holds up Lynx Piece. And Merc, loss of traction it looks like, has dropped outside of this battle. And Lynx Piece now still within DRS range here. To turns 1 and 2 we go once again for lap 28 or 58. And we are approaching the halfway mark in this race. Coffee, 3 second time penalty, and this time Lynx has a look on the inside of Rusty Bolt. Does not quite make it work and stays in P11. Yeah, I've got to say though, Lynx Piece is doing a fantastic job for his teammate. I mean, the bird right now, again, he's not winning that title as Pesci gets through on Mr. Poem. What's happened here, Mr. Poem? He's lost the place to Pesci, lost the place to Deck as well. And now let's go back towards Lynx Piece then. So Poem drops to P3, but we're still on with this battle. Rusty Bolt, Lynx, Merc, P10, P11, P12. And they will possibly continue those places to the end as Lynx Piece now looks for a move down the inside. A dramatic move on Rusty Bolt here. Bolt trying to figure out when he can turn in, but he's now got his way through. And a Lynx piece up into the top 10 once again. Rusted Bolt then. He will get DRS at turns 1 and turn 3. But he's been getting DRS at turns 1 and 3 for a lot of this Grand Prix. It's not been working particularly well for him, has it? So here we go again, where Lynx defends from Bolt once again. Merck's still there as well, so the two Williams unable to shake him off. Can they shake him off here? But Rusted Bolt now goes round the outside on Lynx piece. So it's a break later than Lynx. They both break similar points, but Bolt has got back through and back up into the top 10. Then Lynx piece is thinking, you know what, if I can say time penalty free, I've got a chance to keep him away and beat him in the race as well, knowing that Bolt has those 6 seconds. Let's go back up the field then. The Bird overtaking Mr. Poem and up into the podium positions. And once again, they are pushing on. 2 wide here. Bolt and Lynx. Who's going to end this place? It's incredibly close. Lynx has to cut the corner. Lynx has to cut the corner there. Did he get any sort of warning? He must have got a warning for that. I'm surprised he didn't get a straight up penalty almost. But he certainly cut the corner, but he does get back through on Rusted Bolt and back into the top 10 he goes. It's really feisty racing there, particularly from Lynx, obviously trying to help his teammate as much as possible. Rusted Bolt's trying to get through, but he's been unable to do so. Merck also trying to get through, trying to help his teammate, unable to do so. And Rusted Bolt now into turn 1. He has a look round the outside on Lynx piece, but he stays in behind. Or does he? No, he doesn't. He does get back through out of nowhere. So now Bolt all of a sudden is into the top 10. What about Merck? Is this Merck's chance? Merck is having a look on the outside. If Merck can get through on Lynx, then that can help, but it's not going to work again. Merck's just not got the tyres, it seems, so far, as Lynx piece has a little bit of a snap on the exit of turns 3, 4 and into 5. And now we need into turn 6 and 7, and again it is Bolt from Lynx from Merck. And unfortunately for Rusted Bolt, he is the one who will not get DRS here. Kind of wonder if it's a point where Rusted Bolt doesn't undercut, but then Merck holds up Lynx piece as much as possible. If that happens, maybe there's a chance. Oh! Oh! What's happened there? Merck's through. Bolt and Lynx have tangled together. And Lynx piece and Rusted Bolt. Rusted Bolt, I can imagine, is going to be incredibly frustrated with Lynx piece. Lynx is going to say, well, he's trying to help his teammate. Lynx has got clear damage. I think Rusted Bolt may very well have picked up some damage himself. Well, he's definitely got the end plate damage still. Doesn't look like he's picked up any further damages there. Obviously, it'll need a further investigation on that incident, because that is a biggie for the championship as well. Bolt stays out. Lynx has to pit now. And Rusted Bolt, all of a sudden, is released from his battle with Lynx. Maybe he'll be smarter to pit, though, just to repair that damage and get clear of Lynx. Because Rusted Bolt, the longer you stay out, the quicker Lynx will be able to go. Then, guess what? You're going to be back with Lynx piece. So, yeah, it could be a bit smarter for Bolt. But Lynx piece repairing that wing now. And onto a set of the hard compound tyre. Poem joins him in the pits. And Poem into the pits. And he is going to try and get his way to the end now, surely. So it's hard tyres for Mr. Poem. So it is Pesci, Deck. Labird are still behind them at 1.3 seconds. So the championship's still not heading the way of the Bird as things stand. And you got Coffee with Viking in P4 and P5. You certainly feel like if you're in a position of Lynx piece, to have done as much as you can to hold up Bolt, only for your teammate not to go on to win the title. That would be ever so frustrating for Lynx, most likely. As we've still got Pesci and Deck still running together. The Bird 1.2 seconds behind it now. Back to the stop situation. Poem and Lynx on the 2 stop. Everybody else still pitted just once, but they may very well be going for a second stop in this race. The Bird is still continuing to gain time, but it's not quite enough just at the moment. So we are just seeing what is going to occur here. Pesci from Deck, from Bird in that top 3. Bird, as things stand, would still hold on to P3 in this race. And if he does finish in 3rd position, it's just not going to be enough for the title now, especially after that EM DNF. So as things stand then, with the Bird only 3rd as Deck may very well be looking for another move. Nope, he stays in behind this time. But yeah, 3rd place for the Bird as things stand. Vosterbolt will need to finish P13, and obviously he cannot finish in P13. So the Bird needs a minimum of a top 2 finish if Rusterbolt goes on to finish this Grand Prix. But if Rusterbolt were to DNF, which I can assure you, even if he had red rear wing damage and red side pods, red suspension, red everything, if he's still got wheels, he's going. So, he's not going to DNF unless he unless the game's given him terminal damage, of course. Ivy then gets through on Willie Fernandez and up into 8th position. They have gained time now on the Bird. It's 1.8 seconds between Pesci and Deck and then the Bird. So Bird is now losing even more time as well, having a couple of lockups for the smoke in the process. But Coffee and Viking, well, certainly Coffee gaining time. Viking Fox lost some time, however. And then let's head back up to the Haas. And it could be a Haas 1 and 2 here for Pesci and Deck. And is this Haas duo going to be the ones to deny the Bird a Season 8 100% tier championship? Or is Rusterbolt going to be the one to mess up really in his championship hopes? Poem 3-second time penalty. Just 3 drivers, Pesci, Deck and Lynx, have not received a time penalty in this race this evening. Still no safety car, by the way. No safety car, no virtual safety car. We've got red flags turned on as well. We've never had a red flag in UFRL. An in-game red flag, of course. As it stands, who wins the championship? That will be heading the way of Rusted Bolt. So the Bird needs a minimum of a top 2 finish if Rusted Bolt goes on to finish this Grand Prix. If Rusted Bolt DNFs, the title would head to the Bird if the Bird goes on to finish in, let's have a look, it is top 7, I think it is. Yeah, so if it's top 7 and then Rusterbolt DNF, that would give the Bird a title. But if Rusterbolt finishes, even if it's only P12, the Bird has to finish in the top 2. And as things stand, that is looking increasingly unlikely, given the predicament he is in compared to these 2 Haas drivers who are working together, and they are both without a time penalty. Let's go back towards Ivy, Willie Fernandez, and then you've still got Merck with Rusterbolt now. Is he trying to help his teammate possibly? Maybe he is. So back here between Ivy and William. I think William's just staying in behind, knows that he has got a decently paced driver. Both of them are tier 3, Ivy and Willie Fernandez, and both working together at P8 and P9, maybe battling each other a little bit as well. We are going to go back up towards the front. Pesci still ahead of Deck into turns 1 and 2. In terms of battles right now, well, there are a few. You've got the 2 Haas, the 2 Williams together, and then you've got this one, Ivy and Willie Fernandez. We've had plenty of battling going on in this race, trust me. At the start of the race, there were pretty much 2 DRS trains. You had Lynx Piece and Rusterbolt involved in one of them. Well, they had the likes of Ivy, they had Merck in there, they had Willie Fernandez, they had Woody, and they did have EM earlier in the race as well. As Rusterbolt went ahead of Merck. Ivy still ahead of Willie Fernandez, but for how much longer as Deck overtakes Pesci as well. The Bird is getting closer, but Willie Fernandez down the inside on Ivy, and up into P1 he goes. Oh, interesting there. A bit of ghosting from the game, a lovely bit of ghosting given what we had on lap 1 into turn 1. But Willie Fernandez is still ahead of Ivy. We are going to go up to the race lead though, because the gap to the Bird is 1.2 seconds and closing. Again, the tyre situation. Deck 1 lap overcut, so Pesci and the Bird have slightly fresher tyres, and all of a sudden we are back to 3 races, and all of a sudden Link's pieces a 3-second time penalty. So 2 drivers, both Haas, without a penalty in this race. Ivy, Backfield and Fernandez up into P8 then. But all of a sudden, yes, just 2 drivers now. Pesci and Deck are the only 2 not to receive a penalty in this race. So how dramatic will the ending be? I mean, 21.5 laps to go now, as we're about to head into the final sector of lap 37. 58 laps in total. No safety car, no virtual safety car, no red flags. All are turned on as well. But we've not had much in terms of like major sort of collisions into the wall, I would say. Certainly not. Obviously, there was that incident into the turns 9, 10 chicane between the likes of Ruster Bolt. You had, of course, Link's piece, and Merck was sort of in and around there as well. So possibly those 3 may want to send in their POVs, because let's be real, they're likely going to be asked for it. How is it going? Just reached home. Oh, nice, yes. Interesting race so far. So as you can see, the 2 Haas, the only ones without a time penalty. The Bird had dropped out of DRS range. All of a sudden, he's now back in DRS range. And then Lynx and Ruster Bolt had an incident into turns 9 and 10. It looked like Merck was sort of in there as well. So those 3 may very well be under investigation for an incident. Lynx piece lost some of his wing. And of course, both Lynx and Ruster Bolt have like a spin as well. So sadly for them, certainly more so I'd say for Lynx in terms of what he's been trying to do in this race, where he's trying to hold up Ruster Bolt. Yeah, it's not been ideal for him, has it? Woody making a second stop off the Grand Prix, and the Bird now does find his way through on Deck. And now he's having a look as well. He's pushing on. He's overtaking Pesci. So up into P1 he goes. Again, he needs to win this race, really, the Bird, or at least that top 2 finish, just to keep an opportunity awaiting. But Pesci overtakes the Bird once again and back up into P1. I wonder if the Bird at this point is just trying to see if he can get likes of Pesci or Deck, at least one of them, to have a penalty. That is the time penalty count at the moment. As you can see, Ruster Bolt with 6 seconds in total. The Bird with 3 seconds. That is your championship battlers there. And the Bird having another look on the inside of Pesci. Viking Fox into the pits then, onto a 2-stop strategy. Where would he be compared to Mr. Poem? He will be behind Poem, because Poem is out of turn 14 now. Down the main straight. So 2 stops. In terms of 2-stop strategy, Mr. Poem is the one leading that. But Pesci, the Bird, Deck, will one of them opt, or even all of them, will all of them opt for the 2-stopper here. Tyre situation all on the hards. Deck 1 lap older tyres. And here we go again as the Bird. As I look at the inside of Pesci, I think he is trying to force one of them into a penalty as much as he can. He knows his penalty could very well be the thing that costs the Bird a championship. It's another look on the inside of Pesci. Just not. Oh, the Bird, what's happened? Deck! Deck spun it! Deck has spun, and all of a sudden, the Bird is in championship winning territory! That is crucial for the race. Deck's behind Coffee. Is he going to pit on this lap, or does he stay out? It looks like, according to the track map, he is staying out. Big mistake, Deck. And the Bird knows if he can stick with Pesci here to the end, he has got a massive chance of a title now, the Bird. Big slip for Deck. Looking like he's prime Steven Gerrard in a Liverpool v Chelsea affair, a cagey one, and makes a mistake. He slips and he slides, and he's down to P4 now. And also, Willie Fernandez still there with Ivy, but all of a sudden, Rusterbolt has made a second stop in this race, most likely repaired his wing. Comes out 8 seconds behind Link's piece though. The Burden back through on Pesci now. And the Bird, as things stands, P2 will be enough for the Bird to win the championship. As our move being made there, Woody getting involved with Ivy and Fernandez for P7. Let's see here, Woody round the outside on Ivy. Just go for the move. Now he switches to the inside line. It should be enough for Woody, and it is enough. And Woody up to 7th. Ivy drops to 8th. Fernandez into 9th now. And Woody picking up some places. Both Mercedes into the top 7. Let's head back up then. The Bird with Pesci. 4 seconds to Coffee and Deck. Deck maybe hoping that his teammate can hold up the Bird. Link's piece certainly thinking the opposite and saying, I hope the Bird can just absolutely smash in some phenomenal lap times and clear Coffee and Deck. Because again, at the moment, the Bird in P2. If he finishes in P2 in this Grand Prix, then he needs Rusty Bolt to finish P11 or lower. So P11 or P12. And obviously, as you can see, Rusty Bolt is currently in P12. But he is gaining on Link's piece. And we've seen what's occurred between those two already throughout the entirety of this Grand Prix. Right then, so into the pits goes Ivy. A second stop for him. Looks like Link's piece still trying to go as quickly as he can, but I think he knows that Rustabolt will catch him. I wonder if Link's piece is thinking, will I just go to the end, or is he going to go for a third and final pit stop here? He might be trying to go to the end. And the thing is, Merc could really help Rustabolt here. Merc could win the title for Bolt in this sort of position, and the reason why, if Rustabolt can overtake and then clear Link's because of his tyre advantage, if Merc ended up dropping behind Bolt, if Bolt were to get P10, Bolt would win the title that way. If the Bird ends up only P2. So that's how close it is between these drivers. Are we expecting one more stop from the top 4? Let's have a look again. 19 to 20 laps. They could go to the end, but Australia does get a little bit slippery, particularly in Sector 1. I mean, Sector 1, Sector 3, they could both be a little bit slippery at times there. Blue flags, rather. There's a lapped car, and that is not Bolt. That's Merc. That's how far back Merc is, and let alone Lynx and Bolt. Lynx and Bolt have already been lapped in this Grand Prix. That's how far behind they are. Look at Link's piece. He's in the final sector now, as is Russell Bolt. They have both been lapped here by the Bird and by Pesci. Incredible. So the Bird and Pesci, the Bird just backing up. He can't afford to just back up too much though, because Deck could be in a position to stop the Bird winning the title. But yes, as things stands, the Bird would be champion. If he ends up getting P2 even, P2 would win the Bird title with Ruster Bolt down in P12. And it's not like Ruster Bolt is massively gaining either. Let's head back towards Woody as Coffee now receives a 3-second time penalty. I would say the longer the race goes on, the more likely the top 4 could stay out, but I think the likely scenario is they will probably all make a stop here. As Fernandez goes in for his second stop. I think everyone's going for a 2-stopper, to be honest. And see where Willie Fernandez comes out in comparison to Ivy in particular, given those two were battling earlier in the race. And will anybody call a shot for a potential undercut strategy here in the top 4? The Bird and Pesci, by the way, that gap is coming down to Coffee in particular, but also to Deck. I don't know if the Bird is thinking, I need to pick up the pace here because Deck is getting closer. Not sure what Pesci's thinking, but either way, something has got to occur here. Blue flags showing once again. I do believe that is for Merc. So Merc has got the blue flags where he has got Deck just behind him and Coffee as well. So let's see then. We've got just under 15 laps to go then. 14 and a half laps of racing. Deck and Coffee still 3 seconds behind, not far behind. Yep, absolutely. They are very much close. Certainly Coffee, but Coffee has got a penalty. Deck doesn't. Deck's the one who can stop the bird winning the title and then see what Bolt can do. But Bolt at the moment in P12 is hanging on by a fingernail. He has not got a firm grip of his title whatsoever. And don't forget, with the rules that you have to let laps cars through, if there's a safety car, could that bring the likes of Merck, Lynx and Rusterbolt back into the race? And then you've got Ivy and Willie Fernandez quite close ahead as well. Deck receives a penalty! Deck receives a penalty! He's got 3 seconds! The title is back in with a chance for the bird! The chances are growing here for the bird! Could he fly to the title with that penalty for Deck? Deck slipped earlier in the race. He was away from the top 2 all of a sudden. Now he's got a penalty. He is gifting the title to the bird here. Rusted Bolt. Oh my goodness, he is not going to want to rewatch this one. I don't think he'll ever rewatch this one. This has been a disastrous showing for Rusted Bolt. It's been gutting for him. But let's see here with the bird and Pesci. I mean, Pesci may still win. Merck may very well give the place up to Rusted Bolt in the hope that Lynx were to pick up some sort of penalty, possibly. It may be worth Merck thinking of that sort of strategy, possibly. Obviously, it just depends how they feel is the best way to go. And also, what's the fastest lap in this race? I know the fast lap won't really matter for much. It's not on this one, it's there. The bird's got the fast lap as well. So that if the bird has fast lap, maybe Merck might want to risk just go for a late soft tyre stint just to get a fast lap, possibly. Again, the more these top 4 stay out, the more likely they are not going to pit. There are more yellow flags. That was in Sector 3, but they have now disappeared. But just sticking on here with Bird and Pesci. I mean, Pesci's in Dreamland. He's going to go on to win this race. And he probably also doesn't really want his teammate there. But then again, now he may say, you know what, I'll try and hold him up just to get my teammate back in. But he could be at risk of a penalty himself. We don't know. If Pesci's got like 2 warnings, for example, which we don't know if he does. But if he did, then maybe he's really trying to avoid pushing hard to not get the 3rd warning. Who knows? At the moment, this is the only battle one race, but obviously we know the title battle is still continuing between the Bird and Rusted Bolt, where the Bird, as things stand, would be your 100% tier champion. Again, the final race in UFRL in 100% tier with realistic cars. Viking Fox, Mr. Poem. Poem has got yellow flags. And has he got damage? He has got damage on the front right end plate. So he will pit, but that may very well be a soft tire to the end, which could take away a fast snap point for the Bird here. Obviously, not everything is not confirmed. The reason why everything is not confirmed is because there may well be post-race penalties factor in the incident between Merck, Lynx and Rusted Bolt in the race so far. That chicane, of course, I would say that happened. Oh, I'm not too certain. It was a long time ago now. But yeah, because of that incident, anything can happen with post-race penalties. It was difficult to even say who was at fault from my angle in one view. So the fact that I don't even know who was at fault makes it even more up in the air who could be at fault for it. But yeah, no safety car tonight again. Yep, no safety car whatsoever. No safety car, no virtual safety car. No red flags, none of that. Who needs that in a league race, in a 100% race? Commentators need it. Commentators need it. There you go. There's the answer. That's the correct answer to the question. So we are just sticking on with this. I'm going to get a quick little drink and we'll head back into it. Right then, Pesci going back round the outside on the bird or something, and he does make the move. We've got 11 laps to go then. Pesci P1, Bird P2. And he's still hanging on to that P2 as well right now. And that's a penalty count. Coffee with 9 seconds, so he will drop behind deck in this Grand Prix. I'm going to go towards this. Willie Fernandez and Link's Piece. I don't know, is Link's Piece maybe thinking, okay, you know what? Oh no, it's not. I said Willie Fernandez, it's Merck. This is Merck. Okay, it's getting hot now. LeBird overtakes Pesci into the chicane, and Lee's final 10 laps are going to heat up because Merck is trying to hold back Link's Piece here. Link's then round the outside of Merck. Has something happened? There's a bit of contact. There's a bit of contact between Lynx and Merck. Has he not left enough space there? And if he has not left enough space, that could be a penalty for Lynx. And that could play a critical part in the championship hopes of Rusted Bolt. There was contact there between Lynx and Merck. We'll see what happens in the steward's room. But Pesci back through on the bird now and back up into P1. I mean, Merck will try his utmost best here to get his championship, the championship leader going into the race back into things. 40 laps on hard tyres for Merck. No wonder why. He's got to go for a late soft tyre stint, hasn't he? And the fast lap, again, I think is to the bird. Yeah, 18.869. I think Merck has to pit and go for a fast lap now. He's not going to catch up to Lynx here. I think that would be the best strategy for him. He has to pit, go for softs, and hope for something. We should bring a rule where the people in chat say when they need a safety car or red flag to the commentator and he overrides the game. Yeah, well, it would be interesting, wouldn't it? But either way, Mr. Poem, 18.3, and he does take the fast lap away from the bird. Bird back through on Pesci, back into P1 he goes. And these two having a bit of a ding-dong battle. Bird on the inside, Pesci round the outside. Can the Haas strike back? Yes, he can. Down the inside goes Pesci. This will bring Coffee back into play, and it could very well bring Deck into play as well, who was a teammate of Pesci, of course. Pesci reserving tonight for the finale, and the bird is keeping pace with him very nicely. And he has a look on the inside, saved behind. Rusted Bolt with another 3 seconds. It's 9 seconds of penalties now for Rusted Bolt. He is not in a strong position. Good evening, Trudy McQueen. Hope you're doing well. But yes, the bird and Rusted Bolt in their championship battle. 37 points between the pairing going into the finale in favour of Rusted Bolt. Double points finale means right now, as things stand, the bird would be crowned champion. But that is excluding post-race penalties. If there's any post-race penalties, that can certainly impact the title. Ivy overtakes Willie Fernandez. I won't be focusing on this battle too much. The reason why... Ah, Poem's out! Poem's out! Poem's out into the pit. And that opened up the window for Bolt. That will be a place for him. So Rusted Bolt has a chance now. Pesci from Bird, from Coffee. And all of a sudden, we're down to 11 runners now. So Pesci still has a lead. But the bird has to go on to win this race from here now. Because that puts Rusted Bolt into the top 10. Which would be championship winning position for Rusted Bolt. And all of a sudden, does Link's Piece try and hold up Bolt once again? Possibly. Possibly. Not sure if Lynx knows. Oh, what's happening there? That was the DNF car, Poem rather. But the bird does get ahead of it just about, as does Coffee. It's a three-way battle, but as you can see, Pesci, without the time penalty, is going to clear this. But with that DNF now, that means that it will go to Rusted Bolt as things stand. The bird needs to win this Grand Prix from this position. Can he do it? Only he'll know. And if he were to win this race, Rusted Bolt needs to finish in the top 7 in this Grand Prix, which seems highly unlikely. The bird now has a look on the inside of Pesci. I think he's still trying to force Pesci into a penalty. Might have a look on the incident screen, but the incident screen is going to be incredibly long as the bird has a look on the inside once again. Should I have a look on the incident screen and have a look? See? I'm actually going to do it. Taking a risk here. So we're looking at Pesci. He's got one already. That's on lap 3. If he gets another one, if he's showing again, he's got one again. He's got 2 warnings here, Pesci. Pesci has 2 warnings. He is 1 warning away from a 3-second time penalty. The bird goes down. He is on a Pesci. What does Pesci do? He just about stays on track here. The race win is on. The championship win is on. The bird still fighting. He knows. Maybe he knows now that Pesci's only 1 warning away. Bit of contact between the pairing. A bit of contact, but it looks like the bird got ahead. Has he? Still side by side, but Pesci emerges with the race lead once again. He's still fighting all the way. Still pushing all the way. But what does the bird have? Pesci is 1 warning away from a 3-second time penalty. This championship battle really heating up here. Lap 52 or 58. Birds roundhouse on Pesci into the turn 9, 10. And he does get the move again. Back up into P1. But it's not enough still. Bit of contact between the pairing. Has Pesci got any damage? He does go round the outside. It does not look like he's got any damage. They are still going side by side. Very risky moves for him from Pesci, but he does manoeuvre himself back into P1. So it's still Pesci, Bird, Coffee and Deck. Don't rule out with Deck here. I know he's got 3 seconds, but if he can get through on Coffee, all of a sudden he's got himself an opportunity. Willie Fernandez does get the move done on Ivy. Pesci, is he trying to break away here from the bird? So we're just going to keep on with this emergence here. Let's have a look towards Coffee, who seems to be closing that gap now towards the bird, but the bird does remain in P2. I do get the fielding. I think the likes of Ruster Bolt and Lynx Peace may very well be reporting some incidents each, to be fair. It wouldn't surprise me. So I don't think a champion will be confirmed after this race. It will have to be in the steward's room. But we can, of course, say that who the champion is pre-penalties, of course. So pre-penalties we can confirm it, but of course it will all be really sorted out post-penalties. And we know there may be a penalty coming for at least one of them, given that an incident occurred between those two, with Merck in there as well, through the turns 9, 10 chicane. Either way, Coffee now has a look round the outside of the bird. Has he got the pace from Bird? They are still going side by side here. Bird can't be dropping too many pace. He does manage to hold out ahead. And Deck directly behind him, but the bird losing crucial time to Pesci as a result. Meanwhile, Ivy does get back through on Fernandez into P7, but here comes a chance for Coffee again. And all of a sudden, Coffee and Deck really picking up the pace here and proving they are going to be tough to beat, though. Luckily, it will be Coffee who has his 9 seconds of penalties, and that's lucky, of course, for Pesci, Bird and Deck in this race so far. Only the development tier champion is confirmed, Jack. Yes, indeed. Indeed, yeah. Constructors as well. Like Kick Sab have won the Constructors already. By the way, here comes Coffee then on the bird. Is he going to go for the move? I think he's going to stay behind. But Deck may well decide, you know what, if you're not pushing for a move, I'm going to push for a move. And Deck will do that at some stage. But we're going to go towards a bird who had a look on the inside of Pesci. Knows he couldn't quite make it happen. I think Pesci knows full well he's 1 warning away. Does the bird know? He may know by now that Pesci has 1 warning in hand here. But Bird somehow needs to win this race. Given Rusted Bolt in P10, it is just enough to win the championship. And we're just keeping an eye here on the bird. I do apologise to Woody Fernandez and Ivy. I know they're having a big battle, but I think they will be very much understanding of the situation, the predicament that we're in terms of the bird and Rusted Bolt battling for the title as the bird this time has a look on the inside of Pesci, almost tapping the Haas in the rear there, and it has cost the bird a bit of time in the process then, 7/10 back, and he's going to have to use some battery just to stick with the Haas. So it's still Pesci, Bird, Coffee and Deck in that top 4 with 4 laps remaining. It's 4s all round. Not on a penalty count, however. Willie Fernandez and Ivy still together. They've been together near enough all race. But here comes the Bird once again. He wants the race lead, and he gets the race lead. Back into P1 goes Bird. Pesci without DRS now. Is Coffee going to target the Haas here? Or will the Haas target P1 again? No! Nobody goes for the moves. And the Bird's still there as Merck receives another 3-second time penalty, making it 12 in total for Merck. As the Bird now trying to pull clear, and a bit of a gap emerging to the point where Coffee and Deck, what's happening here? The Bird opting to defend the line, but Coffee and Deck almost going side by side here. Deck into turn 1, stays behind. May have slightly cut the corner, definitely gets a bit of oversteer, and Deck will lose some time. Pesci, meanwhile, back ahead of the Bird. The Bird has to try and force Pesci into a penalty, you feel, into a 3-second penalty, and that could give the Bird a chance of the title, because again, as things stand, Rusted Bolt would be crowned champion pre-penalties. Pre-penalties, yes, that is crucial. So here we go. Pesci still there, but the Bird now under pressure from Coffee. Is Coffee all of a sudden making a break for it? Yes, he is. He draws alongside the Sauber. He overtakes the Sauber. Is he going to go for the double? No, he doesn't. But Coffee's up into P2. Yes, he has more penalties. But all of a sudden now, he looks for the move on Pesci. He's going for the overtake. He takes the lead. But what about the Bird? The Bird's coming through. Side by side between Bird and Pesci. Pesci just about stayed within track limits. It was ever so close. If he had gone an inch further to the left side, that would have been curtains for Pesci in terms of the penalty situation, and I would have opened up the door for the Bird. But we are going and heading on to the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix here. It's still Coffee leading, but Pesci would take victory as things stand. Bird would take P2. The title will still be heading to Bolt. Ivy and Winnie continued their ferocious battling, which again I would like to watch, but I can't, just simply because of this title battle. Pesci has a battle himself here with the Bird. Bird down he is on a Pesci, and he does make the move once again. He's still trying to force Pesci into a mistake, you feel, into that 3-second penalty. But it's not occurring just yet, and it's disappearing as well. The time is fading away. Coffee with another penalty, 12 in total. But for the Bird, it's the wrong driver with a penalty. He needs it to happen to the Haas, not to the Alpine. And now Pesci running through again, and he does take the place of the Bird. Back into P2 goes Pesci, and back into a net P1. I mean, this is getting close here. As things stand, it will still be going to Bolt, and we will be heading on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. But if Pesci makes a mistake, goes 1 foot wide of the mark, and gets a penalty, then the Bird will be all over him. But we are heading for one showdown, one final lap in the finale at Australia. Coffee, Pesci, Bird and Deck. Who will take the title? Will it be Bird? Will it be Bolt? As things stand, it's heading to Bolt. He's hanging on by a fingernail, but a Pesci penalty can change all of that. A Bird win would deliver the Sauber the title. He had a look down the inside on Pesci. He does remain in P3 now as we enter out of the DRS range and into turns 4 and now into turn 5. Ferocious through the fast right-hander. Yellow flags! Yellow flags! It looks like it is for Merck. Merck has got yellow flags, but it's still hanging on here where the Bird is going to challenge with Pesci. He needs to push all the way. He needs to force a mistake for Pesci as well to win the title. Is he going to make a 3 wide? He does. But the Bird goes for the move on the inside. It's so close. Oh, and side by side there, Pesci and Coffee. Pesci just ahead of Coffee. He stays in P2. Bird has got away with the lead. But it looks like the title will not be going towards him. A little bit of a slip from the Bird. But as things stand, the title will go to Bolt. But Bird will hold on to it here. In P1, Pesci will take it away from him. Out of the final corners here, William retires. But it will be the Bird crosses the line P1. But Pesci takes the all-important victory. The Bird will not be crowned champion. Deck P3, Coffee P4, Viking Fox will come through into 5th position. But let's head over to what we do believe pre-penalty winner of the 100% tier will be Rusted Bolt. Again, it depends on post-race penalties, but it looks like Bolt has it delivered now. P9 for him. Merck will come through in P12, Woody P6, Ivy P7. Ivy was having those battles throughout the race with Willie Fernandez as well. But the Bird done his utmost best, but could not snatch it away at the death from Rusted Bolt though. Incredible drama here at Australia. No safety cars, no virtuals, no red flags, none of that monarchy. It is straight down to business to the end. And congratulations, it looks like Rusted Bolt has secured it. Again, if there's any post-race penalties, that can impact things. As our Woody gets the line, it is P6, a double top 6 for Mercedes. Ivy will come home in P7. But let's see, we couldn't quite head to the one we wanted. But it is looking like the title heads the way of Mr. Rusted Bolt. Pesci takes victory, however. Bird P2. Bird takes drive of the day. But sadly, the title was not heading his way. Right then, the full post-race classification will be awaiting, but here are the podium celebrations. Pesci on top. Not sure the Bird will be feeling like he wants to be on the podium at the moment in P2. But yes, as things stand, Pesci just snatching the win there. And I say snatching it, he didn't pick up a penalty. That's why he ended up with the victory. What does Bird need for a win? He needed the win, really. Especially after Bolt got into that top 10. Then the Bird needed to win the race, but he ends up in P2. But yes, so Pesci taking the race victory then. And he is ahead of the Bird, who looks like he has just missed out on the title. Deck P3, Coffee P4, Viking in 5th. And Woody, as we said, a double Mercedes top 6. Ivy P7. Lynx P taking P8 for the Constructors' Champions. And Mr. Rusted Bolt looks like the championship is his. It's P9 for him. And barring any post-race penalties, he will take the title. Merck P10. And then we saw Willie Fernandez, Poem and EM retire from the Grand Prix. But wow, I was pretty crazy throughout that race. And again, some incredible battles. I think certainly one or two incidents for sure. The key one was into the chicane between Alexa Rusted Bolt, Lynx Piece, and Merck. Will that be an end result for the title? That remains to be seen. Can the Bird take the title that way, or will Rusted Bolt hold on to the title that way? Yeah, we'll find that one out. But anyways, that'll be that for the 100% tier race. We'll figure out who the champion is, or the true champion, after the stewards reports. You do again believe that Lynx and Rusted Bolt will probably report the incident. But anyways, let's have a look what we have coming up for UFRL. And of course, we are just one race away from finishing Season 8. And that finale will head to the inter-tier, or the international tier, tomorrow night at 9 o'clock PM. And it will be held round 15 at Qatar. So that will be your finale tomorrow night. And it will be 9 o'clock PM, 1 hour later than the usual 8 PM starting time for all the weekday tiers. Then we will have a 2-week break, or at least the current proposal is a 2-week break, and then we can restart what looks to be, as things stand, on the 24th of February. That's the current timeline. And no, we don't go to Football Manager timelines, for example, where Football Manager timelines are very iffy, aren't they? If anybody plays Football Manager, they'll know the situation there. But yes, for tonight, that is the 100% race done. Again, it looks like victory for Rusted Bolt in the championship. It was very, very close. But yes, congratulations then to Rusted Bolt. Pre-penalties, of course. We'll figure it all out post-penalties with the stewards. But for tonight, thank you for watching and good night.